Hello, I'm Frank McSheen with Square Peg Consulting at the Whiteboard. I'm a supply chain cash guide, and these are the components of the business-to-business supply chain as I see it. And there are opportunities to generate more cash in every part of this process. Let me show you what I mean. Hello, today we're going to talk about a tool that we can apply to all areas of our supply chain, B2B supply chain framework in the situation where you need to generate more cash quickly. Could be a turnaround situation, a customer service is down, on-time delivery is off. There's problems in the business and it's depressing profitability. We got to get it turned around quickly. And the recommendation is to use a tool called a war room to help you generate more of a focus and more sense of urgency among you and your team to get these initiatives accomplished and reach your goal faster. And it literally is dedicating a room, a conference room, to this purpose. You can name it whatever you want to, whatever the goal of the initiative happens to be, whatever the turnaround need is, name it that. And in the room itself, you want to have some whiteboards. Of course, I would recommend the use of whiteboards. And you're going to have monitors around the room. And also, it wouldn't hurt to have, charts, actual physical charts. Sometimes thermometers where you're measuring something and it's increasing or improving, whatever the case may be. But it's a place where people can come in and quickly see exactly what's going on, what the status of the effort is, what the initiatives are doing, which ones are on track and off track. The other piece of this is no chairs. So when you're in the war room, we want to create a sense of movement, a sense of action, a sense of urgency. So no sitting during that period. When you come in, you're standing, you may have a quick huddle in there. This is the place where the leader of the initiative, whether it's the president of the company, VP of supply chain, or a department head, or a process owner, this is where they come, they lead and facilitate the discussions, and they do it quickly. So if you're familiar with EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System, they have a method of tracking performance on certain initiatives. And it's either on track or off track. If it's on track, there's no discussion. You just say it's on track. If it's off track, we save that as an issue to be discussed in more depth, right? And so that's the approach you want to take in here, which is always on track or off track. And if it's off track, let's put that aside just for a second till we get the full picture, then come back to those off track issues and discuss those, develop some solutions or some approaches, go get them implemented. And so the sessions shouldn't take more than 20, 30 minutes, but it may be a couple of times a day. And for the people on site, if it's a plant on site or distribution center, et cetera, they need to be there physically. If they're on site, they got to come to this room, which really helps convey that sense of urgency and sense of teamwork and sense of being in this together. If you're dealing with remote locations, it's okay to have them on Teams or Zoom, whichever you prefer, and coming in remotely. But they got to be prepared when they show up. They got to have their updates, their measurements, their progress for that day. And you want to start this on a daily basis. And like I said, maybe even more than a couple of times a day to really start that sense of urgency going of what's happening, what's happened since the last time, what's changed. As progress gets made, then you can start to stretch this out a little bit, but never more than a week. So you might go from daily or more than once a day to daily to a couple every other day, maybe 2 times a week, then we're at 1 time a week. But keep the momentum going, keep the excitement going, keep the pressure on the people in terms of us creating that sense of urgency. And we're looking for measurable results. So things that can be measured, sales, on-time performance, late orders, issues in the manufacturing location, things that are downtime, et cetera, those kinds of things, quality issues. Those are what you want to see and measure, and so we can start to see is there progress against those. And again, you want to go on track, off track. And if it's on track, there's no need to discuss. It's these guys that you want to discuss and solve or resolve. And the next meeting would be say what's happening with the solution that we proposed on this particular issue. So I've used this myself. I've seen it work in other companies to get a quick result, a quick set of momentum and progress, measurable, visible progress, as well as pulling everybody together into a team environment, and a sense of action and urgency is created. So give it a try, see how it works. If you need help, call me.